on the old ancient marketplace, which is called Cebada, el Mercado de la Cebada, which is what this place used to be. After a long time, that was the first building here. After a long time, they built a swimming pool, sport facility, which used to be where we are camping now. That part was the swimming pool with the soccer field. This part was playing pro tennis. This part of the site. About 4 years ago, they decided, no, 7 years ago, they decided to rebuild the place, make a new facility for the city, a new market, a new sport facility. Huge building. We'll show some images after that. But, so they start to pull this building down. That was 4 years ago. For 1 year, the whole place was empty, nothing. No, for 1 year, the building was closed. Nobody could enter. Nothing was going on. And the neighbors start to say, why is it closed? What's going on? The building is there. We were using it. There's no danger of structures falling down. So everybody starts to ask questions like, why this is closed? So why? At this moment, the people start to think, why is going on? They pull the building down. They put the building down thinking that they were going to build the new building in like sooner. Very, very soon they will have the money, but then the crisis came. Spain with all this building thing, big issue, all the construction stops, no money to do things, and especially the city council have no money for building it himself. So the strategy now is to find somebody to help on this building this side. This is what we all want, the building to go back to the city. But the thing now is that they need somebody to invest on the building. So now it's a big issue because the big private companies are going to be on the public space. They were going to use it because otherwise they cannot build it. So they're selling to the citizens. By this private initiative, we will have the public building, which is kind of tricky at the same time because the private thing will be the basic of this new building, and the public part will be a small little market and a small little facility. But still, even the private initiatives don't have the money now. So that's why we are here. Everything's installed, everything is in a region that is not useful, but still is what we have now. Things are going on. The project is still going, but very, very slowly. Now we have some news that they're changing the law so they could make this private-public building or facility, but everything is kind of slow. So that's why we have the opportunity to do this. And how do this happen? Like, this is the first question I think is very, how do you make this? This used to be empty, nothing. Nobody could get in, that was closed. For the very first time somebody occupied the space was in an initiative by called White Flight. I don't know if you ever heard about White Flight. It's a big night where all the cultural stuff is on the street, the museums are open, all the cultural stuff are open, and it lasts for the whole night. It was commissioned by Masulama, and they decided to find different places on the city that were unused. This was a very special one because it's on the center, it's quite big, it's quite close, so you can do many things. And the very first thing that happened here was this night. But the curators of that night decided to make it longer. Not only for a night, it's a big budget. They decided not only to make it for a night, but make it longer. So they built here a little swimming pool and cinema, concerts and stuff like that for a month. A whole month of activities open to everybody. And that was the very beginning. All the people in the neighborhood start coming, they love it. But then, as always, in the public space, the controversy came up. And the controversy in the best point of view. From this controversy, all these initiatives happened. One night, there were private money here for building these small activities. So for one night, the private company said, we're going to make a private one. actually was a very nice one. That was in September 2010. But then that night they closed, and the neighbors came in and they couldn't get in because it was private, it was just a private. And that was the starting point. Again, all these questions from the past, like why there's people inside this public space but I cannot get in, what's going on, what's happened, what is this, I don't like it. So these neighbors started to complain about it, and they talked to the organizers of the thing. They wanted to know why they have closed it for a private collector, for a private company. So then Basrana again flipped the question and said, okay, why don't we have a meeting and then see what you want and how we can manage. And then they start to ask us, we want this place to be public, we want to use this space, we want to have it for open plaza and use it. So that was the very start. That was little reunions, maybe from 6 to 10 people started meeting, and then suddenly people were getting to know that this was going to be open. We made all these meetings in the place. So people start to join us, asking for it. Each person has a different interest in this, which is very nice, because it's an addition of different interests and different fields. There were neighbors that were very active, but they don't know how to make it. People that are not active, but have the tools to make it possible. So, after we were agreeing of trying to make this place open to everybody, we went to the council and said, why this is closed, we want to open it. We made little dossier about it, and we were very surprised because they loved it. On the government, they said, this is such a nice idea, we have to make it. Perfect, let's do it. So they tell us there are 3 different points that I have to take care of this. The first one is the participation department of the city council. The people that we already talked to, that they like the project. These people have to be kind of in charge, and they have to know the initiative and they have to give permission. The second one was the city council, the local city council of this area, of the center. They have to know the project and they need to have the project. And the last one and the most difficult one, surprisingly, is the urban department. Because the urban department is the owner of the public space. Most of the public space. Some of the public space is not from the urban department, urban governors, and it's for the tax department. Okay? The tax department. So we were very lucky because this space. This space was from the tax department. And same thing. They saw the project and they love it. And they said, we have to make this to us. Somehow we were very lucky because everybody had the opinion that this place could be open and why not? Why don't try it? So again, they asked us to make a plan. However, we were asking them how we could do it, and they passed the question to us. You are going to tell us how this could be done. They have no idea. This type of spaces, even though it looks like quite normal, is completely new in the city. There's a few initiatives like this one, 4 or 5 of them in Madrid, but it's very, very new in Madrid. Never before. In 2010, that was something very new for them. So they asked us again, how do we make them? And we were like, if you don't know how to make it, how are the citizens are going to tell the city council how are we want to manage this? Unions, meetings, we were getting as much as initiative inside. Many of the neighbors associations getting different neighbors that have some initiative inside. Everybody together, we make the project bigger, and we said, okay, this is what we wanted. We make like a legislation, I guess, that allows the place. How are we going to make it for the government? So they need something very specific. But we were free to make what we wanted, so we made like an idea. Our idea was two different purposes. Very important. One purpose is what do you call a plaza with the installation that make possible that things like this happen. This is one point, very important. Installations, it's power, electricity, water, shadow, electricity, all these things. We want this work, but also we want it to be open to casual things such as play soccer, read the newspaper, just get down and enjoy the place in a passive way. That's two different things. Very active, I'm going to take a concert, I'm going to show a film, I'm going to, theaters, stuff like that. On the other side, I will just go down, enjoy the square, read a book, be with my kids, with my friends. That was the two lines. One line is working, the second line still is not working. We're getting there, but still is not working. The second line means that this is going to be a public space with a key. A key means they will be open in the morning and close at night. But we haven't get to that point yet. We'll get there. And the other part, any kind of special event, all type of events happen here. All of them have work. And we still have good relationship with all the neighbors. This project is it's a laboratory. So we try to make or to test many different strategies to make it work. For example, if there's a lot of noise, we didn't know how much noise it was making. It's a big context here. And we didn't know the time. To the government, we say at 12 we close. But then we have some complaints. The neighbors came in, like, I want to leave, there's noise, what's going on, what's happened. So then, for example, put this, I don't know how to call it, strategy. Instead of going to the police, there is a lot of noise down in my house, and the police will tell us, somebody's complaining, we call it down, and we say, why don't you call us? So we give the numbers, personal numbers, the neighbors. And when they have something, they just call us. The music is too loud, so we say, okay, put it down. How about this time? Oh, I still can say. How about this time? Okay. Things like this is something very, very new. There's some, I don't know, how can I say, strategies to take this, put the complaints and the good things closer. This is what we make here. Just the gap between the complaining to the government and the citizens. Try to make things closer so we can understand each other. And by this complaining, we try to make the laws of the place. So now, at 11:30, all the music has to be shut down. At 11, we said, because we know that it takes a little bit of time to take it off, so at 11:30. And this is not because the government tells us 11:30, but the neighbors were the ones telling us 11 is a good time. So most of the things are done by this way. It's the neighbors that actually tell you what they want here. And this is our attitude. And I'm talking about all this process because I've lived it, but as a neighbor. Since we're architects, we can give a little more. We can build things, we can do stuff. But there's many other neighbors that have been building and enjoying the place. And this is actually what we like about this place. This place is designed by the neighbors. Okay. So, after we have all this commission with the government, everything is started. But how do we build it? At the very beginning, this was very, very sad place. You came in and there was nothing at all. The sand and the concrete. It was very difficult to start. But then, slowly by slowly, putting together many different opportunities, initiatives, discussions, and then brain thinking how to make it. We start to make it slowly, little things by little things. And this is something that is very hard to tell to the government because they tell us, give us a project, we didn't ask for any money, we wanted to make it ourselves. Self-manager. Have you ever heard about this concept, self-manager? You heard before. This is not what we do here. This is something different. This is what we call co-managing. Co-managing means that I'm going to manage, but the neighbors are going to manage, we're designing it, city council is going to manage, many different opinions are going to manage the place, which is co-managing. This is what is working. Because if we have any problem, we go to the council and say, it's not our problem, it's everybody's problem, so it's your problem. So you're going to help us to solve any difficulties or anything. So, the very first thing, we were very lucky that saw the red the red container made possible that guy with the beard called Diego. They have some beliefs and governments to do a project and then he couldn't make it where he was. So he finally decided that why not make it. That was the very starting point. But something critical for the space. Because then people passing through, the door open, well the door was open many times. People came in, looked inside and said it's the same as always. So keep on going. And the first little construction made a big difference. People start to think, something's going on in my neighborhood. Nobody has told me anything. So they were kind of, what's going on here? I want to know what. So they start getting balls, go down. And then the neighbors with initiative appear. There's many neighbors that are passive, which is okay, but there's many neighbors that are activists or initiatives. I don't know. One of the person that started the process is a musician. So he wanted to play music on public space. Build the space, start to give concerts, and then since the very beginning, every single weekend, we make big concerts. Big concerts. And then people listen to music. So many people start to get to know about the space by using it. This is another concept, space. People can hear nothing happened and I go. Something's going on, then I will stay for a little bit longer. Stay for a little bit longer, maybe give it a little idea of the book. And then, if you go little by little, now all the neighborhoods are at the very beginning, little by little. Then, the container, music, but then suddenly somebody came and said, why not making films? And then there were a production company from the neighbor said, okay, I have some documentary that I want to show. Then the cinema came into the platform, which was a big thing also. Whenever there's cinema, you will see tonight when the presentations are here, everybody came in and there's cinema, and then I go to the cinema. Third point, guess the people. On knowing the place, that was very important. We didn't want to make any campaign, so everybody knows the place. We wanted the people, by using it, getting to understand how it works, and then being active on the space. That's what we always say. Construction by using, by use. We cannot build the thing by using. Like a Lego. You use a Lego, you play with it, and that's how you build that thing. It's not that you already have the thing built and then you go to play with it. So then, afterwards, the money around. Big issue. How do we do with the money? What's going on? We have money. All the other things before without any money. It costs money, but we get it somehow. By the government. So then finally, in December, it's very weird. In December came the budget for December 2011 came the budget. 26th of December came the budget for the whole 2011. That was already planned. We have to spend all the money before then. Crazy things have happened. Now it works. We knew a little bit that something like this was going on, so we have everything prepared. What do we need? How do we spend the money? I want you to see the map, but then somebody wants to do different things. We need a lot of meetings. We start to ask the neighbors, what do we want? What do we want? Now we have it. And then, since a lot of time has passed, many people want to do things. One of the biggest and most active people in the urban garden or the farm. We want to farm. We got the farm. And then sports. We wanted to give back the sport scene that it has before this space. So we build those baskets and football things. But also, as I was saying before, what we wanted to do is not making the activities, but giving the possibility to activities to be done. With all the electric facility, because before we have some electricity, but it is, I don't know, we stole it from the government, knew it, but they let us, it was kind of, and we said we want something good, I don't know, for small concerts, now we can make big things. It's a whole thing over there, the project, maybe all around the space, but we don't have much money, so here and there, and we have barriers, so we kind of have electricity all over. There's also, inside the container, there's also the water supply. We have water pump over there for the public cleaning format. And we always take the water supply. We knew it, but they let us do it. And so they don't want it's not us making illegal. Government making illegal. This is the government. The city council is your project, so you are the one making it illegal. Okay, yeah, that's it. So then we make a whole water thing, then we can supply, we got that, and then we got all the water, right? And after that, many other uses we have some architecture workshop for building the auditorium. We build a lot of furniture. I don't know, schools want to learn how to build furniture, so we say, okay, let's make a workshop and use all the models, all the pieces that you make actually in the real space. So that's how we make some of the chairs, most of them here, some of them still there. And then the crates. The crates. That was a very special moment, a very special project. Why? Because we have to make a big crate. This is supposed to be for the soccer field over there when we take them, but we wanted to make them movable. So things like this could happen. If you need crates for any thing, and it was very nice because it's a very collective project. It was 6, 7 different architectural collectives, to make each one of them one of them. And we all worked together in the idea of how we were going to make it, and then doing some good design and doing. With the money from the government, we bought all the tools, all the tools, volunteer, and weekend. Very nice to see now the space is very dynamic. This looks like the space. Last week we had a big festival, 10-day festival, music, theater, all the.
I knew that
and it was over there.
Yeah, they
somehow somebody decided that on that part of the plaza, people that passed through that didn't know that it was on that part, that didn't came to the plaza specifically, it was easier for them to go there than to get back here. I don't know, respected, make the whole thing, it was empty and everything was there. Why not? But then the people from the sport field complain. Make this so that all the acts here, I cannot play soccer, I don't play soccer. So then, I don't know, all these different interests start to work together, and it's, I don't know, development, evolve the space together. And this is, I don't know, one of the main concepts of developing an idea with the citizens and all the initiatives together. It's very hard, slow, and it's kind of, I don't know, difficult, very difficult. But still, this space is the perfect space to try this type of work. We don't have timing problem. We know the price is not going to be over too long, so we have time. We have many initiatives, and we want it to really be a space where everybody feels good about it. If I'm building something here, and I'm not feeling good about the space, I'm going to be like, I don't know, the attitude is not going to be good. So we try to achieve the space where all the citizens, the active, the passive, the one that doesn't like it, the one that really like it, everybody to be happy about it. And kind of achieve it. We have 1 year, we have only